Hey, what's up, YouTube world? It is your girl here, the Venusian Bull, and I am back with another video. And in this video, I'm actually going to be doing a celebrity natal chart reading, but it's going to have a particular focus. So in this video, I'm going to be doing a natal chart reading on the pop artist Lizzo. Okay. And I was just very recently intrigued upon doing a video on her. I really wasn't planning on doing a celebrity natal reading on her, but given all of the talk and the posts that she's been doing in reference to her body positivity, and I say that with air quotes, she's gone on record saying that she didn't like her body or she wasn't comfortable with her body. And on the other hand, she's always posting pictures on Instagram that where she appears to be very confident in her own skin. And we all know Lizzo, she's a bigger girl, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to be as politically correct in this video as I can be, but I mean, she's more than thick, okay? She's more than thick. Some might say that she's fat. Some might say that she's big boned. Some might say that, she's bootylicious or whatever, okay? But just thick doesn't quite sum it up. So let's just say that. And she seemed to always be, pretty satisfied with the way that she looked. But I always personally kind of had an inkling that she wasn't always satisfied. And I think even now, with her kind of saying, posting all this body positivity stuff in these poems and, it's okay that I'm fat and this and that or whatever. I still think that deep down it does bother her. And I remember it was a while ago. It was maybe like a year ago that I found out that her moon was in Virgo. And it just made it all make sense. Like when I found out her moon was in Virgo, I said, "Oh, that's an act." Oh, she absolutely A cares what people think about her when it comes to her body, and B, she's extremely self-critical of her own body. And moon in Virgo, it's very, difficult to kind of save face. You want to be this image of perfection, but sometimes you just kind of gotta break down. And Virgos are very sensitive in that way. So I kind of jumped the gun a little bit with that, but I want to actually play a clip for you so you can kind of see where it is that I'm coming from. Okay.
Positivity is in the club too.
Lizzo is getting
Started having all of these really negative thoughts about myself.
in a brutally honest selfie video. The 32-year-old singing sensation admits that she has been having body issues.
Like, what's wrong with me? Maybe everything, all the mean things people say about me are true. And, why am I so disgusting? And hating my body.
Is famous for embracing her curves, often posting videos in skimpy lingerie. But now she's reminding her fans she's human too.
I think these are normal. They happen to everybody. They happen to the best of us.
Lizzo closed her video with these inspirational words for her fans.
And I just have to know that tomorrow, how I feel in here is going to change. And I can only hope that it changes for the better. But I know I'm beautiful. I just don't feel it, but I know I'm going to get through it.
Wow, sending good vibes.
Okay, I may have to delete some things because I forgot it was playing some of her music in there. But yeah, that was just Lizzo talking about how she's kind of like succumbing to all of the criticism and stuff like that that she's been receiving on social media and about her body, and it's getting to her. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, when you kind of put yourself out there that you don't care what people think of your body, and we're gonna just do a little, scroll of her Instagram here, and I want to have my ass and titties hanging out all of the time. and, you know, I think I'm cute, but you don't have, you know, the body that society deems as acceptable, people are going to say shit. Now, I personally think that Lizzo is beautiful. I think she has some very really artistic photos on here, even when she's not wearing anything. But I have to admit that sometimes a lot of her, you know, photos really throw me off. And it's just like, girl, you don't have to do all of that. Like this, that's pretty. You know what I'm saying? This pink, you see how she's like showing skin, but it's still fly. Like that's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like like this it's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? And I say that for girls who are thinner. Like I literally feel like I'm saying that about Megan Thee Stallion all the time. Like, girl, your body is fabulous, but we don't always need to see your ass shaking. Like that's how I feel, honestly, like truthfully. But that's just me. You know, maybe I'm like a tad bit of a prude. I got Sun in the 6th house. I got a South Node in Virgo, so maybe that's where it's coming from. But I just don't feel like you have to do all of this. Like this is cute. You have to do so much, you know, to get attention, and you're getting the wrong attention. Like, you know, when you post photos like this, that it's going to garner negative attention because you don't have the body that society deems as beautiful. Point blank period. It just is what it is. I'm trying to keep it all the way 100. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to show y'all her Instagram feed. And then recently she just posted this: I detox my body and I'm still fat. I love my body and I'm still fat. I'm beautiful and I'm still fat. These things are not mutually exclusive. To the people who look to me, please do not starve yourselves. I did not starve myself. I fed myself greens and water and fruit and protein and sunlight. You don't have to do that to be beautiful or healthy. That was my way. You can do life your way. Remember, despite anything anyone says or does, do what you want with your body. All right. So very body positive. They're trying to, you know, really put out that positive feel good energy because she's not feeling it, you know, within herself. You know what I'm saying? So let's take a look at her chart real quick. So Lizzo was born on April 27th, 1988 in Detroit, Michigan. So this at 3:50 p.m. and the time was verified on Twitter by herself, I believe. Um, so that makes her a Taurus. So it's even more difficult in terms of the weight for that to go off easily. Because Tauruses love food, Tauruses love to eat. I know that because I'm a Sun in Taurus myself. So it's very difficult for people with Taurus energy to really be disciplined when it comes to food, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. You know, this is about indulgence and indulging in the things that you love. Now, she did state how she had been, you know, eating right and going on a diet and eating a lot of greens and, you know, protein or whatever else she said in that post about what she was at: greens and water and fruit and protein. Yeah. But the thing is that it's a little bit harder for people with Taurus energy to be able to lose that weight and keep it off if need be. And there's another video. It's a little bit longer, so I'm not going to show it all, but
Have a great day.
Here's what went down. On Tuesday, the Grammy winner kept it real, like really real, on TikTok, posting a new video about her fitness routine and her self-love.
Hey, so I've been working out consistently for the last 5 years, and it may come as a surprise to some of y'all that I'm not working out to have your ideal body type. I'm working out to have my ideal body type. And you know what type that is? None of your f***ing business.
Oh, she's
so yeah, Lizzo is really, you know, she really tried to put off that she really doesn't care what anybody thinks. But when you put that Virgo in the mix, you always care and you're the most self-critical. So she has her moon and rising both in Virgo. So this kind of exacerbates that. And I don't know if you guys were paying attention in my Planets in the Houses series when I was talking about moon in the 1st house and how that could cause you to put on weight because the moon rules Cancer. You know what I'm saying? So with it, like, if her moon hadn't been in the first house, it's possible that she would not be this big. But the moon, it really does put on weight, and her sun is in Taurus. Um, so that kind of like exacerbates that fact. She is someone who likes to indulge. Now, she's been working out and she's been doing her thing, but sometimes with some people, you can work out and work out and work out, and the weight is just like not really coming off. But if you feel healthy and you feel good, you know, in terms of your like physical health, you may not always mentally feel there, but if physically you feel well, then you're usually healthy and fine and things like that. um but I don't know, like some people may peg her for being overweight. Now, she is a celebrity, so that means that she does have the money to get surgery if she wants to. I think that that's something that she's been trying to avoid, but I do see potential in her chart that may lead her to wanting to get surgery, like gastric bypass or something like that. She does have her son in the 8th house, and the 8th house is the house of transformation. It's the house of death and regeneration, being reborn, and things like that. And the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, and it's also ruled by Pluto, and Pluto does rule surgery. And if you look at that, her sun is directly opposing Pluto. So I could see the potential of her going under the 9th to lose this weight, especially if it doesn't come off with her consistent working out, diet, and exercise and stuff like that, because it's like she's doing everything that she needs to do, but she's still keeping on the weight. And I think it's really eating at her, considering that she has her south node and her moon in Virgo, both at the 20th degree. So they're conjunct. So she's this Virgo energy of being like overly critical about yourself, and being too hard on yourself, and kind of like working yourself to death to be perfection. It's like that energy she kind of has to rid herself from, but she has so much of that energy in this lifetime. She's a Pisces north node, so she's supposed to be going more towards, being free and letting go and let God, which she actually does. This is the thing. It's a contradiction, because I feel like deep down, she has a lot of insecurities, but on the outside, she's trying to, portray that she doesn't, but it's starting to merge. You know what I'm saying? So, but that north node, that first of all, the north node is all about, her music and her being a singer. And I don't know if it's called a flutist, but she plays the flute. So for her being an artist and performer, and like a multifaceted artist and performer, that's the main portion of that north node in Pisces. But as it relates to her situation with her body and her weight, the north node is definitely signaling where you need to go with the flow more, and you need to, you know, not stress so much about, I would say, not stress so much about things you can't control. Not that you can't control your body. It's important to note that about her North Node in Pisces. Another thing that I noticed is that, social media is ruled by Aquarius, and it rules the 11th house. So she has Cancer on the 11th house cusp. So the moon rules her 11th house. It is intercepted by Leo. So basically, the sun and the moon rule her 11th house, which is very, very interesting, because you have the moon ruling your 11th house, which is your emotions and your feelings, and your kind of ability to take things personally. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of difficult to deal with. So when people criticize you on social media, or just, to be, rude and petty, the shade room will take a photo of Lizzo with her ass hanging out and stuff like that and put it on the shade room, knowing that people are going to be mean and nasty to her. I don't know if you guys remember at the NBA game at last year when she came dressed in this ensemble. That, I mean, I was like, girl, why? Like, what kind of attention are you looking for doing that? Like, I guess, what do you really expect people to say? People are not unfortunately, people are not evolved enough to be able to just look past that and just move on with their lives. Like, they're going to see a photo like that. They're going to see, you know, some of your other photos that you posted on Instagram, and they're going to have something to say. And a lot of time, and in a lot of those instances, it's not going to be something nice. It's going to be something nasty. And I think that, you know, she's putting herself in these situations where, you know, she's kind of allowing the scrutiny. It's like one thing to be body positive and be, you know, completely confident in your body and stuff like that, and, you know, wear sexy clothes. But I think it's another thing to be kind of overt with it and, you know, just throwing it in people's faces like it's, you know, you have to accept this, you're gonna accept it. Like, that's kind of how it feels to me. And, you know, a lot of time, like, I actually follow Lizzo. Like, I like Lizzo, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the biggest fan of her music, but a couple of her songs, you know, I jig a little bit too. But I think that there's a fine line between trying to accept yourself and then also like doing things that you know are going to get a reaction and a negative reaction. Like, let's just be real. Again, I'm not trying to burst anybody's bubble or make anybody unhappy. If you know, are Lizzo's size or Lizzo's weight or anything like that, I'm not trying to make anybody feel worse about themselves or anything like that. I have insecurities about my body and I'm not that big. I always tell myself that if I was fat or if I was significantly overweight, I probably would be really depressed because I gain a little bit of weight now and I'm just like, oh my goodness. So like the girls who are the big girls and they're really confident in their bodies and they strut it and they know it, like, I respect them wholeheartedly because I know that it couldn't be me. I know I'm not strong enough to do that. So I'm not doing this video to shit on Lizzo or anybody who has a body like her. I just want to kind of explain astrologically where I think that this is kind of coming from. So back to her 11th house, which is the social media house. So she has the moon ruling that house as well as the sun. So the sun is the confidence, right? The sun is, you know, nobody can touch me. The sun is, I'm a star. The sun is, I look good. I'm fly. I'm sexy. And then the moon is her being self-critical. She probably thinks like sometimes maybe I shouldn't post this because I'm going to get negative, you know, feedback. And she always leaves her comments open on her Instagram. Like, she could actually turn her comments off. I looked at some of her stories today and you can view comments, you can send her comments and stories too. So if she's getting, you know, really nasty comments just like in the comments of a post, I can't imagine what kind of DMs she may be getting. I think now she's getting a lot of positive reinforcement because of the fact that she was like bold enough to actually admit that she didn't like her body all the time and that she wasn't happy with it. And she was like, I'll get there, but I'm not happy with it right now, and it's okay to not be happy with it. I think that was so real and so honest and so authentic. And that is endearing. That's, to me, that's more endearing than acting like you're okay with your body and, you know, wearing the thongs and having your ass all in the camera, like just for the purpose of getting a reaction and stuff like that. I mean, she'll probably continue to do those types of things, but I also think that it's very, you know, empowering to kind of show like a real woman. Like, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of women in this country and in the world who look like Lizzo, who have the body type like Lizzo. This is a video she recently posted, and she's kind of saying a poem during it. I'm gonna
If you only
unmute it
knew
a
the
little bit,
complexities your
but I'm
body
gonna turn it
possesses,
off.
you would be
But
so
you know,
proud of
she's
it.
showing like the
I'm
real
so proud
of the body, like the stretch marks and the love handles and the fat, and it's just like it's real. It's not like these Instagram bodies with the slim waist and the big hips that you bought and the you know, the big ass and stuff like that, the proportioned Instagram body size. It's like a normal, you know, kind of like overweight, you know, woman or whatever. I mean, like, I think that it's very like, I don't know. I find it to be empowering, personally. Um, that's kind of how I feel about it. But I didn't like it when she was just posting these photos to just get a reaction. You know what I mean? I also see where she has Jupiter trine her moon. So moon is trine Jupiter right there, if you see that. So Jupiter, while being in a lovely sign like Taurus right there, and it's in the ninth house. So oh, this is interesting. So Taurus is, it's about money and finance, and Jupiter, can expand that. So she's making a lot of money. The girl is not hurting for money or anything like that. However, you have Jupiter in the ninth house, which is the Sagittarius house. So this makes her very, happy go lucky, confident, fun, energetic, all of that stuff. And it's trying her moon. So that kind of also contributes to her demeanor, how people see her performance quality of just being like this happy go lucky, energetic. She has a lot of energy on stage. She doesn't really like get out of breath. Like you can tell that she be working out and stuff like that, because even for a big girl, she still like performs her ass off and stuff. But the only like really downside to this kind of aspect is putting on weight, because it's trying her moon, which is in her first house, which is their house of the physical body. So this aspect is going to cause her to put on weight, and it's going to be very difficult to keep it off. Remember, Jupiter expands, and yeah, Jupiter enlarges. So that could also be the actual physical body. There was another thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, we got to talk about the second house here, right? Because the second house has to deal with self-worth, right? And look at what rules her second house. Venus. It's a little bit of Pluto, but mostly Venus rules her second house. All right. And with Venus ruling the second house, she values beauty. You know what I'm saying? She values beauty. She values obviously money and relationships and things like that. But there is something about aesthetics that she values. And this may sound a little superficial, but Libra is on the second house cusp. So where the second house deals with where you can, how you can earn your money, it also deals with how you view your self-worth. So she kind of views her self-worth through others, because Libra has to deal with others and relating to others. So if people think that she looks good, then she'll think that she looks good. She does have the potential or the propensity to seek validation through others to get her self-worth. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that's coming from. And then when you look at her Venus is in Gemini in the 10th house. But more importantly, it's in the 10th house of career and public standing. So her beauty and her self-worth is always put on Front Street. It's going to be a part of her legacy, as is, music, because Venus represents music, but it's also going to be about her self-worth and her value and beauty and what she deems is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So I found that very interesting. And then her Venus got a nerve to be conjunct Chiron. Chiron is known as the wounded healer. You know what I'm saying? But also Chiron can be a big bad bitch. Okay, Chiron can really wreak a lot of pain on your life. So she can definitely be feeling it, the pain as it pertains to her self-worth and her beauty or lack thereof, or what people think, because this is 10th house is a public house. So it was kind of inevitable for her beauty and her looks and her body to always be up for scrutiny. Like, even if she didn't post pictures of her being half naked and her ass and titties hanging all out and stuff like that, she would have been up for scrutiny anyway, because this placement, it puts the way that you look kind of out on Front Street, even with it being in Gemini, which kind of, deals with multiples. It deals with duplicity. So that's kind of how I feel like she has this two different views of of beauty and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes she's okay with how she looks. Sometimes it looks like she's putting on a front, but okay. But in other times, you know, she's not okay with it, and she can kind of, you know, switch up when it comes to that. But yeah, that's something that I noticed as well. And also with the North Node being in the seventh house, she definitely, any seventh house energy wants to relate to others. So it's a part of her, you know, destiny in this lifetime to relate more to others. So I think that it's good that she's, you know, being honest and not keeping things in, and she's letting it go, she's letting it flow out, so that that can, you know, inspire other people, you know, and stuff like that. Because I feel like it's better to just kind of be honest about how you feel about yourself, especially if people kind of already suspect that there's an issue. Like, you know, that people are suspecting it. I've suspected it for a long time. I'm like, she's not that happy with her body. Like, I can tell. Like, I could tell. And then when I found out that she had a Virgo moon, it just solidifies it. And then even more so, it's like on her ascendant. Like, are you kidding? Like, this is the most self-critical type of person that you can deal with, you know? She does have this really nice grand trine. It's kind of wide, but we'll include it. So we got, it's Jupiter and the moon and the south node, and then we got Neptune up in there, and then things back to Jupiter. Like, you can include the sun and Mercury. Well, not the sun. You can kind of include Mercury up in there too. But that's a nice grand trine, a nice Earth grand trine. To me personally, if you're gonna have a grand trine, I would like it to be Earth. So it gives her a lot of sense and a lot of grounding and a lot of opportunity to make a lot of money. Like, she is not hurting for that. That is not what this video is about. But I just wanted to point out um that grand trine right there. Yes. So also understand the polarity between Virgo and Pisces is very deep, especially on the mental psyche. I know that she had some videos where she was talking about her mental health, how, you know, how rich people always like to talk about how, you know, it's not just about the money. We still have issues, which I believe to a certain extent, but we're not going to have that conversation about can money buy happiness or not, because clearly for her, she's still not completely happy, and it doesn't actually have anything to do with money. It has to deal with how she feels about herself, and she's a public figure, and you know, her image is out there at this point. So it's kind of like you have to deal with it, you know what I'm saying? But she could, you know, turn off her comments, she could delete her Instagram, but I think that she may see that as the easy way out, and things like that. And like I said before, I think it's getting better with her getting more positive reassurance and things. The biggest thing for me was recently hearing that she was not happy with her body, and I think that that's what really prompted me to want to do a video on her. And it was just like, okay, she admits that, like, sometimes she likes her body, sometimes she doesn't. And I think that that's very, you know, relatable. It can get very Instagram bodies, it's just so fake and it's not real and it's unnatural, and people get lost in that type of beauty and that, you know, standard of beauty, and wanting to look like that, and getting the, you know, the surgeries and the BBLs and, you know, all of this type of stuff to look like everybody else, to have the same body type as these, you know, Fashion Nova models and stuff like that. I mean, I do buy clothes from Fashion Nova. I don't look like the models though. But I'm just saying, like, it's just, it's a lot of pressure. And I like Lizzo's presence being online, and her being a major public figure, and her being on social media, because I think it just shows a different side to, you know, kind of what you can be. I mean, we praise, you know, women with the small waist and the fat ass and stuff like that. Everybody doesn't have that body naturally. You know, Lala doesn't have that body naturally. Kim Kardashian does not have that body naturally. I mean, sorry, girl, but you don't. And I'm tempted to believe that Tiana Taylor doesn't have that body naturally. I mean, she doesn't necessarily have like the fat ass and the that, but she literally just had a baby and she still has a six pack. Like there's no way like that she didn't get some surgery. I'm sorry. You can't like you can't tell me. Even Beyonce, I think, even though she's always had an hourglass figure, I think she's had like a little nip and a little tuck there, especially after those twins. But it's not too unnatural looking and not too unnatural from the way that she looked when she first came out. You know what I'm saying? Because she's always had body. But if you look at somebody like Alala, if you go back and look at, back in her TRL days in the early 2000s, she didn't have all of that ass. So you got to understand that people are buying their way into looking the way that they want to look, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's creating these unrealistic standards of beauty. And like I said before, I still think there's a potential that Lizzo could think about, going under the knife to get surgery to get rid of some weight and make it, realistic looking, like not, all of this, excess skin or, losing so much weight, like making it, believable. There's a lot of artists who, were, on the bigger side and lost a lot of weight, like Kelly Price and Missy Elliott and even Adele. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Adele wasn't as big as Lizzo, but still, you know what I'm saying? But in terms of speaking about Black women, definitely Missy Elliott and Kelly Price. And I know that there were some others. I'm just not remembering them right now off the top of my head. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show this. I know that I'm going to forget something. Like literally every time I do a video, I'll be like, fuck, I should have said that. But I hope that y'all could hear the little clips that I played. I know I'm going to have to edit this a little bit because I don't really want to get copywritten because of, her songs being played and things like that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of impromptu video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
All right, so I'm back with a quick hit. I said I was going to forget something and then I spoke it into its existence. So I just wanted to come back here and say what I forgot to mention because it is very important. As I forgot to mention, a very important aspect that's aspecting her ascendant, and that's her Mars in Aquarius, which is quincunx her Virgo ascendant. And Mars represents your identity, and it represents who you are and your assertion and how you assert yourself in this world. And it's in conflict with her ascendant, with her physical body, with her being, with how people are seeing her. And plus you got the Mars in Aquarius. So Mars is very much, Aquarius is very much I don't give a fuck type of energy, and the energy of Mars even is that kind of energy. But when you have it in quincunx with the ascendant, especially the ascendant in Virgo, it's giving this, it's giving this battle, you know what I'm saying? And it's not consistent. Who she is and her identity is not consistent with the way that she looks. At least in terms of, how she feels about her appearance and things. She wants to be that kind of I don't give a fuck Mars and Aquarius. I don't care what anybody thinks, I'm going to do me. But that Virgo ascendant, how she's coming off, particularly adding that moon in the first house, is making her more sensitive to the scrutiny that she feels from others. And I think that people see that. But that's it. I just wanted to add that little quick hit in before I completed this video. And once again, thanks for watching and listening, and I'll see you in the next one.